Will the Water and Infrastructure Committee of August 4th, 2025, please come to order. The time is now 1:30 p.m. May I ask that all participants please keep noise-making devices turned off. I'm your chair for today, Tom Cook. Members, per the Sunshine Law, please identify who, if anyone, is in the room, vehicle, or workplace with you today, exclusive of minors. Before we begin, I'd also like to ask any department representatives who have joined online, please turn on your cameras when it's your turn to speak. Also, I would like to ask the members to keep your cameras on, please, since we have a bare quorum. Now I'd like to introduce the committee members. Vice Chair Yukile Sugimura, good day.
Good day, Chair. Looking forward to a productive meeting. Thank you.
Councilmember Gabe Johnson, good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon, Chair, council members, committee members. There's no testifiers at the Lanai District Office. I'm alone in my workspace in my house. Good day to all of you, and I'm here and ready to work. Mahalo, Chair.
Good. Councilmember Tasha Kama will be joining us later, I believe. And good afternoon, Council Chair Alice Lee.
Good day, mates.
Councilmember Tamara Paulton, I believe, will be joining us. Councilmember Kiani Rollins Fernandez is excused. Councilmember Shane Sinensi, good afternoon, mate.
Hey, good afternoon, Chair, and good day.
Councilmember Nu'ulani U'uhadjis is excused. And we have from the Department of Transportation, Director Mark Takamori.
Good afternoon, Chair.
And we have Neil Nakamoto, Program Specialist 3.
Good afternoon, Chair.
From Corporation Counsel, we have Deputy Corporation Counsel Kayla Barreau.
Good afternoon, Chair.
And Christy Wigglesworth.
Good afternoon, Chair.
From OCS, our committee staff, Keone Hurdle, Jared Pasquale, Lori Ann Tengan, Carla Nakata, Jean Pokipala, thank you for your work. Please see the last page in the agenda for information on meeting connectivity. Good afternoon, everyone. Today we have one item on today's agenda. Y-10 relates to Resolution 25-130 and Bill 79, 2025, which together propose to establish and adopt a new paid parking zone and map at South Maui Beach Parks and update the paid and permit parking zone map for Wailuku. Members, if there are no objections, I would like to take testimony after receiving opening comments on Y-10.
No objections.
Thank you, members. Let's begin. Members, Y-10 relates to the Resolution 25-130 entitled Authorizing the Adoption of the Official Paid Parking Zone Maps incorporated by reference in Section 10.77.010 Maui County Code, Establishment of Paid Parking Zones. Resolution 25-130's purpose is to establish a digital paid parking zone map for South Maui and update the digital paid parking zone map for Wailuku. The committee is also in receipt of Bill 79, 2025, entitled A Bill for an Ordinance Amending Chapter 10.77 Maui County Code relating to the establishment of paid parking zones in Wailuku Town and at South Maui County beaches. Bill 79's purpose is to assist the Department of Transportation in clarifying the laws for establishing on-street and off-street paid parking zones in Wailuku Town and South Maui County beach locations. Additionally, I have two amendment summary forms, one dated July 25th, 2025, and one that was distributed at the beginning of today's meeting. The July 25 ASF has proposed CD1 version of the Bill 79 listed as attachment number 8 on your Granicus. To comply with subsection 10.77.010A Maui County Code, paid parking zones must be identified on an official digital paid parking zone map and approved by ordinance For that reason, the exhibits originally attached to Resolution 25-130 have been incorporated into the proposed CD1 version of Bill 79. This ensures that the parking zone maps are adopted via ordinance and not by separate resolution. A second ASF was also uploaded to the beginning of the meeting, attachment number 12, to begin further amend the CD1 version to resolve a conflict with the flat rates for parking passes. At this time, Mr. Nakamoto, would you like to provide any opening comments?
Yes, Chair, thank you. Good morning, my name is Neil Nakamoto. I'm part of the Department of Transportation, and I am the Program Manager for Park Maui. Today, I'd like to present a brief overview of Park Maui and then walk through the different facets of the proposed bill. You can go to the second slide, Jared.
If I may interrupt you for one moment, I'd like to welcome Councilmember Tasha Kama. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Chair. Pardon me for being late this afternoon, but I'm here and ready to rock and roll.
Thank you. Can you confirm your location and the fact that no one else is there?
I am in my home office. I am alone in my home office. There's only me.
Thank you, Member Kama. Okay, thank you, sir. You may proceed.
Thank you, Chair. So what is Park Maui? It's basically Maui County's parking management program with data-driven solutions for our valued resources. Next slide, please. These are our 4 program objectives. We want to create a positive experience from beginning to end at each destination. It's to be community-oriented, to minimize congestion at our destinations and protect our valuable resources. We want it to be sustainable, where revenue generated is invested into county improvements, and also to be adaptable, where data drives our decisions so that we adapt and expand over time. Next slide, please. Here is a progress to date. Ordinance changes in 2022, the opening of the Wailuku Garage in January of 2024, stakeholder engagement that has started from 2021 to the present, ongoing data collection in Wailuku and South Maui, development of Park Maui mobile app, MPD designation of Diamond Parking Services as parking ambassadors April 4th, 2025, and the parking ambassador launch in Wailuku July 14, 2025. Next slide, please. These are our 2 pilot locations, Wailuku Town and Kihei Beaches. Next slide. Here is the overview for our Wailuku Town. At the Wailuku Garage, we currently provide for all Hawaii residents with a valid HDL 2 hours of free parking. We also provide 2 types of permits, employee and neighborhood. In Wailuku Town, there's time-limited parking on street, and soon in the EL parking lot, we'll also provide additional valued stalls for time-limited parking. The Parking Ambassador program is continuing to provide education and interaction with the community to move towards parking compliance. And finally, signage, wayfinding, and parking guidance is in process with the Department of Public Works. Next slide. This Exhibit W1 refers to page 1 and 2 of the bill. The map depicts the Wailuku Garage as a paid parking zone. Next slide. This is Exhibit W2, refers to page 5 of the bill. The exhibit shows the Wailuku Garage to also be a permit parking zone for employee and neighborhood permit parking. Next slide. Now to segue, we're going to go to South Maui with our Kihei initiatives related to the bill. This is for 10.77.010, establishment of paid parking zones. We're going to be highlighting the Park Maui mobile app, its pay station installations, the resident beach benefit at select beaches, and the continuance of the Parking Ambassador program in this area. Next slide. These are the 2 phases for the South Maui County beaches. Phase 1 is going to focus on Kama'ole 1, 2, and 3. Phase 2 may include the following beaches: Kalama Park, Ulua Beach, Wailea Beach, Polo Beach, and Keavakapu 1. Next slide. Exhibit SM1 is on the top of page 3 of the bill. This map reveals both the off-street and on-street paid parking areas. It also identifies the beaches for resident recreation hours. So if you look at the map, you can see that the solid pink is for off-street and the dotted is for the on-street paid parking zones. Next slide. I want to further expand on what the recreation beach hours are. This is in reference to page 2 of the bill, section 3, subsection A2 and A3. This is what we're entitling the resident beach benefit. This is basically free parking to all Hawaii residents with a valid HDL. The Hawaii driver's license is basically scanned at the kiosk that will be installed, or it can be scanned on the Park Maui app. The resident beach benefit will only be at select locations to allow Hawaii residents to park prior to 10 a.m. on weekend and county holidays. So what this means is that residents can park anytime, but we have priority before 10 a.m. on weekends and holidays. What this means for non-residents is that they can only park on weekends and holidays after 10 a.m. and not any time before. Next slide. This refers to page 3 of the bill, and this is explaining the beach parking rates, the pay to park, part-time and non-resident rates. The flat daily rate is $10. The hours would be between 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday, and then 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. weekends and county holidays. The pay to park hours are based on the established hours by the Department of Parks and Recreation. Next slide. So the paid parking technology that we're using is the Park Maui mobile app that we're currently testing, and the pay stations with custom designs that will be implemented. These kiosks will be available at each of the locations that we have for this paid parking at the beaches. Next slide. So what's next? Park Maui is taking the steps to support the Phase 1 expansion to South Maui beaches. Today, we're here to seek the needed ordinance change to support it. Behind the scenes, we're prepping the pay station permitting and also performing tests on the Park Maui app. Data collection is also still occurring to best guide our decision-making processes, and stakeholder engagement is ongoing as we also strategize to expand into new sites. Next slide, please. So we want to thank you so much for the opportunity to update you and to also discuss the proposed bill today. We've provided QR codes here on this slide so that anyone may use them to connect to Park Maui. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Nakamoto. Before we begin our discussion, let's see if anyone would like to provide testimony for Y-10. Staff, do we have anybody signed up for testimony?
Chair, I believe the Royal House of Hawaii signed up, as well as Johan Law, but would you be able to read the testimony remarks?
Yes. Okay. Anyone wishing to testify, please sign up in the lobby, join the online meeting, or call in to the phone number noted on today's agenda. For online testifiers, please click the raise your hand button. For those calling in, please follow the prompts via phone, *5 to raise and lower your hand, and *6 to mute and unmute. Please ensure your name on Microsoft Teams appears as the name you prefer to be referred to as, or as anonymous if you wish to testify anonymously. If you are in person, please notify staff that you would like to testify anonymously. Otherwise, please state your name for the record at the beginning of your testimony. Written testimony will continue to be accepted and can be submitted via e-comment at mauicounty.us/agendas. Staff will enable your microphone and video when it is your turn to testify. Oral testimony is limited to 3 minutes per item. If you are still testifying before that time, I will kindly ask you to complete your testimony. You can view the meetings on Akaku Channel 53, Facebook Live, or mauicounty.us/agendas. Decorum will be maintained throughout this meeting. Breaching decorum includes anything that disrupts the orderly management of the meeting. Violation of decorum may result in being removed from the meeting. So staff, may we have the first testifier?
Thank you, Chair. The first testifier is the Royal House of Hawaii, to be followed by Johan Lal.
Aloha. This is the member from the Royal House of Hawaii, and an allodial land tenant and resident under Heva Heva Helu 3237, and I'm just wondering if any of the descendants of the royal patent allodial titles have been contacted on anything yet, and have been reached out to, because yeah, I'm an heir. I haven't got contacted yet. And yeah. And please contact the allodial land descendants, royal patent descendants. Mahalo.
Okay, thank you for your testimony. Members, any clarifying questions? Member Sinensi.
Mahalo, Chair, and mahalo to the Royal House of Hawaii. I was just curious if you mentioned allodial tenants. Is there a registry of those tenants?
I'm not too sure. I know there's a few of them, like all the way in the mountain. You know, the couple one. Yeah.
Okay, but you don't know if there's like a list or a registry of those tenants?
Not yet.
Okay, all right. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, members.
But they can very much prove that they are heirs and descendants of Heva Heva. Mahalo.
Thank you.
Members, any other clarifying questions for the testifier? Okay, seeing none, I'd like to acknowledge and welcome Councilmember Paulton. Good afternoon.
Aloha, Winala. Good afternoon. We got our go bags ready. It's just me and one adult canine, Ha-Cha-Cha Vieira, and one minor canine who shall remain unnamed. The two kids have flown the coop. Thank you.
Okay, welcome. Staff, you can call the second testifier.
Yes, Chair. The last individual signed up to testify is Johan Lal.
Go ahead, sir.
Mr. Lal, you're muted on your end. We did promote you to a presenter, so you should be able to unmute your microphone. Right, I believe you have to do Control-Alt-M in order to unmute. There we go.
Am I unmuted?
We can hear you now, sir. Continue.
Johan Lal. I'm testifying on my own behalf. I was kind of scared when I saw paid parking in Kihei on the agenda, and I'm still kind of concerned. One concern I have is that it seems too complex, like the different categories for like 10 a.m. versus after 10 a.m. on weekends and holidays for residents versus non-residents. I think people are going to be confused. But the main concern I have is accessibility, because it requires an app, it looks like, and a lot of people don't use smartphones. So they're going to have problems even if they are residents. And a lot of those people are kupuna, or even people who can't afford smartphones and use flip phones. So that's going to create a barrier. So I think whatever can be done to make it more efficient, if this goes through, should be done. Another thing in general, and I'm not sure if anything can be done about this at this point, but I think parking for residents in Wailuku should also be prioritized as much as possible, as well as employees. I haven't looked recently at what the rates are, but I think that should be free, or like as close to free as possible if you work for the county or the state or any of the local businesses and need to park in the Wailuku garage. And I think in general, there is kind of an issue with adding a charge or making things more difficult without providing anything in exchange. And this is taking parking that's already free and accessible and easy to use and making it more difficult. And I'm not sure there's any benefit for the community. So I think there needs to be a lot of care taken in going forward with this. Mahalo.
Thank you. Members, any clarifying questions? The chair's comment, thank you for your questions. They're very relevant. We'll address them during our discussion. So if you stay on, you'll be able to hear some responses. If you have further questions, please don't hesitate to write in, okay? Thank you for taking the time to testify. Staff, do we have any further testifiers?
Thank you, Chair. That's currently all the individuals signed up to testify. If anyone in the audience or on Teams would like to testify, please come up to the mic and begin your testimony, or use the raise your hand function on Teams and staff will unmute you. Here's a brief countdown. 3, 2, 1. Seeing none, Chair, no one has indicated that they wish to testify.
Okay, members, seeing there are no more individuals wishing to testify without objections, we'll now close oral testimony.
No objections.
Thank you. As a reminder, written
objections.
testimony will continue to be accepted into the record. Members, I'm proposing 2 rounds of 3-minute questions per member. Are there any objections? Okay. Thank you, members. Let's begin our discussion. Committee Vice Chair Sugimura.
Yeah, thank you. Wow, it took us a long time to get here. We've been talking about Park Maui Cup for a couple of years now, so congratulations. And I'm looking at the rates, and I'm wondering, with what we established, what happens when you have Wailuku First Friday, which just happened last weekend? So is there a fee? Do you administer it? And it looks like, of course, the parking structure is being used for food vendors, but what is the overall plan for events?
Please.
Thank you, Chair. So in answer to your question for the First Fridays in Wailuku Garage, remember that our paid parking is from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. and residency has 2 hours free. Setup begins at 4:30, so the people that show up at 4:30, basically they're residents, and so they get free parking because after 6, it's free for everyone. As far as the rates and fees for the garage, we still have our Wailuku permit in Corp Council, so we can't officially charge what we have in rates and fees for FY26 until we get that approved. So for now, it's been free for First Friday. We had one other organization, a nonprofit called WAI Roadrunners. They had their successful marathon on July 20th, and they already inquired if they could book for next year.
Wow, that's encouraging. So Corp Council, whatever document you're reviewing, going to be done soon, or is it yours, Christy?
This came to my attention today, actually, about the rates, so we can get it turned around very quickly, I'm sure.
Okay. So how much would it be for like an event, like Valley Out Roadrunner or Wailuku First Friday, which is really a...
The rates and fees is $50 for nonprofits, and we're only allowing nonprofits to be, as well as government agencies, which is free. And we're not accepting commercial organizations at all.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Johnson, questions for our guest?
Okay, sure. A little bit. Okay, so my question is in regards to the wayfinding slide that you guys were talking about. Public Works was going to initiate a wayfinding. Is that just more, is it signage? Can you explain what that means?
Please.
Thank you, Chair.
Address you as
The garage
program specialist.
The garage wayfinding signs are with DPW currently. We manufactured 18 by 24 signs that go around the garage. HDOT already put their signs up for us on High Street and on Main, but we still have other signs that need to be put up on the county roads. I was told that the engineering area of DPW has been reviewing it. As far as when they're going to implement, it should be forthcoming, but I don't have an exact date yet.
Yeah, I always hear that signs seem to be very easy, but there's always some kind of process in getting them up. And you mentioned HDOT was involved, so I could imagine that might slow it down. And you said you didn't have a time when it would be put out, right?
Not at this time.
Okay. My second question is in regards to phase 2. Is phase 2 contingent on phase 1 being a success?
Yes, most definitely. We have to see how we work things out with Kamole Beaches before we can proceed. We need to get our data together to figure out how it's being utilized. And then also, this is the first time that we're doing all the permit processing that has to take place, and we're finding that there's a lot of unknowns in doing this process for the first time. So we have to get this done right before we can proceed.
You know, according to the code or this proposed bill is where the council's role is, approving the maps and everything. I'm really, I would like just to state for the record that we, before we roll out phase 2, I'd like for the council to kind of learn what lessons you guys learned as we move forward towards phase 2. I don't want us to just be in the dark of what happened in phase 1. So if there's any chances you guys would come before this committee or my committee, I'd love to hear down the road how phase 1 worked before we move on to phase 2.
Yes, most definitely we'll work that out.
Great. Okay, those are my questions for now. Thank you so much. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Member Kama, you have questions for our resource people?
Thank you, Chair. So I just have a question. For the parking, the residents get free parking at the beaches, and they get 2-hour free parking at the Wailuku Garage. So at the beaches, Kamole 1, 2, and 3. So is it only on weekends, or is it Monday through Fridays too? I mean, I see it's before 10 a.m.
Mr. Nakamoto?
Yes, to answer your question, all Hawaii residents at Kamole 1, 2, and 3, it's free parking based upon the hours of the park itself. So Kamole is from 7 a.m. in the morning to 8 p.m. So Monday through Friday, they can park there the whole day if they want for free. And then on weekends and on county holidays, they get first priority before 10 a.m. to park there.
So on weekends, as long as they get to their parking space before 10 o'clock, that's free too.
Oh,
on the weekends.
Yeah, so it's always free for Hawaii residents at Kamole 1, 2, and 3. It will always be free. We just want to give them priority in terms of parking on weekends and county holidays. So that means that no one that doesn't have a Hawaii driver's license that's valid can park there before 10 a.m. Only people that have an HDL that's valid can park there before 10.
So if you have an app, and once you go on the app, every time you go and park your car at either Kamole 1, 2, or 3, or in the Wailuku Garage, do you have to continue to show your ID card in the kiosk, or is it just automatic because you have it on your app?
Mr. Nakamoto?
It's actually both. You can have your app and pre-scan your driver's license and let them know that you're going to be parking at that beach. Or if you don't want to bring your phone onto the beach, but you have it with you in the car as well as your driver's license, just go to the kiosk at Kamole 1, 2, and 3, scan your driver's license, and then put it back in the car and go and enjoy the beach. So you don't have to have a smartphone at these beaches with the kiosk. You can just use your driver's license to scan it in, and you're good to go.
So your handicap parking, that is open to all handicapped people, right? So does that mean that if a handicapped vehicle that is not a Hawaii driver's license Are they still able to park in the handicap stall?
Mr. Nakamoto?
Yes, that's ADA compliancy, so yes.
Yep. Okay. Okay. And then where will the kiosks be situated in Kamole 1, 2, and 3?
In Kama'ole 1, we're going to have one out next to the dirt lot on the corner of South Kihei Road. And then on the opposite side is going to be next to the lifeguard station. Kama'ole 2, if you recall, it's really just street parking. And so we have two different kiosks that are located strategically on that side of the road. And then when you go to Kama'ole 3, that's a larger expanse. So we're going to actually have two, one right by the restroom and right by the ADA sidewalk, and then the other one further down where you actually have another entrance into the grassy area when they do the movie night.
Yeah, I know it. Okay. Oh, wow, that's so cool.
Okay, Member
Okay,
Kama,
okay.
the bell rings, so you wait for
Yeah.
the next round.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, thank you.
Councilmember Paulton, questions for our resource people?
I was wondering if you're familiar with the Kapalua, Maui and Pine parking system. Is this similar, or if you? I mean, I guess the first question is if you're familiar.
No, I'm not, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. And is there gonna be on-site? So there's one, like, say I go park in the back parking lot at DT Fleming's, and I forget to do my thing, scan my license plate, and like that, someone will come and just, like, kind of help me along. Is that similar?
Mr. Nakamoto?
Yes, we will be having parking ambassadors at all of the different locations, and so they will be on site. They will be scanning the parking lot with their digital devices to make sure that the cars that are parking there are in compliance. And basically, there from when the park is open and when it closes. Now you have to keep in mind that we may only have two ambassadors for all of Kamale 1 and 2 and 3, so they're going to have to be going up and down the street, to give the data collection and to help educate people.
Okay, and then how is there like a grace period, learning curve, and like first, second, third warnings? I know some people at the Kapalua location they get notices and they just throw it away. So how will enforcement be handled?
Thank you, Chair. Enforcement will be handled with an education process like what we're doing currently in Wailuku. And we have different capacities to cite warnings where the warnings will spit out a ticket. We'll let the person know what the offense is and what the price tag would be, but it would be clearly stated it's a warning and nothing would be passed on to the judiciary. So we would likewise do the same in the beach and parks, where we would have a education phase and we'll be teaching the community about what we're doing.
What about if it's one local and like 5 tourists in a van, they can still get the local rate?
Mr. Nakamoto?
Again, it depends. If the person has a valid Hawaii driver's license, that's the key. That's all you need.
So if like a tourist is taking all your kids to your friend or your family that's visiting is taking your kids to the beach, then no can. But what if you like gave them your license? Like, take all my kids, here's my license, free parking.
Mr. Nakamoto?
Do I have to answer that? That's technically between you and your conscience, but we wouldn't recommend doing that.
I mean, it's kind of a trade-off if they take your kids, right? Or no?
It would be better that you go there and that you scan your license because you have to prove that it's you.
That's the bell.
Got it. You don't know my kids. Thanks. Okay.
Member Lee, questions?
Thank you, Chair. What are the estimated revenues versus costs for the various locations?
Mr. Nakamoto?
Currently, we don't have that data available. I can tell you about the parking garage, but I don't know what they would be for the beach at this time.
Okay, I'm sure you know the cost, if you don't know the revenues.
I'll have to get that back to you in writing because there are things that we're still discovering in this permitting process where there were unanticipated costs that came about because of requirements that we weren't aware of.
Okay, I think, yeah, if you could provide that information in writing, because I would have hoped you would have had some idea of if this is going to be a break-even venture, or we're going to lose a lot of money, or what's going to happen financially.
Mark?
Chair, thank you. Thank you for the question. It is a good question. Basically, when you look at Park Maui's project as a whole, the intent is that it's supposed to be at least bringing in more revenue than the actual cost of the program itself. But that's as we start to grow the program, we're going to start to see that where the cost and the revenue starts to kind of close out. So when the program first was discussed, this was before the Lahaina fires, and Lahaina was the area where a lot of the income would have helped support the program. So as of right now, if you don't include Lahaina and you don't start to expand to more beach parks, it's going to be more costly to have the program than to it would be more costly to have the program if we don't continue to expand the program. So that's why I think when you look at it as a larger project, it is anticipated that we would have more revenue coming in as we grow the program.
Okay, yeah, well, I can see the Wailuku Park program, because that, there's an actual cost, and you can anticipate the usage, and there's a method to controlling it. Whereas at a beach, it's not that easy. And so are you planning, when you add on, are you going to be focusing on, let's say, West Maui, or are you going to continue on South Maui? Because I'm sure you're not going to do Haiku next, right?
Mr. Director?
Thank you for the question. I think we're open to expansion of the areas. We just want to ensure that as we move forward with phase 1, Kamole 1, 2, and 3, we ensure that we understand the process and the rollout of it. We know that there could be some hiccups, so if we can anticipate those things and fix that as we start to progress to other areas, we're definitely open to it. I know that there's been discussions about a North Shore could be included in the program at a certain point, and I know that we've also got inquiries for West Side as well. So I guess from a Kihei perspective, we're looking at phase 1 right now, and there was, during a discussion of phase 1, those other beach parks came up as a possibility for phase 2. But I think anything is possible. We just want to ensure that we do the rollout for phase 1 properly so that we can expand for the other phases.
Oh, he's not watching, so I'll keep asking. So I would imagine you're looking at the high traffic areas, right? Okay. Thank you.
Okay. Member Paulton, I'm going to take Member Sinensi, and then I'll call on you.
Just disclaimer, I have one adult male in the house, George Vera. That's it.
Okay, thank you for clarification and disclosure. Member Sinensi, you have questions regarding the Park Maui?
Thank you, Chair, and mahalo for the presentation. Just following up on Chair Lee's line of questioning, I guess what the impetus is, I know that you're looking to expand the project, and when what were the reasons for picking certain areas? We understand they're high traffic areas, high visitors. It looks like we're trying to target visitors versus residents. Only because if people are coming from other parts of the island to enjoy South Maui beaches, then they'll probably arrive sooner or before it starts. Those that are in all of those beaches have crosswalks to their hotel rooms right across the street. So most of the visitors will be parking at their resorts or their hotels and then just walking across to the beach. Or maybe some hotels might have shuttle service that will drop and pick them up from the beaches. So I know that there's, again, I would like to see the program expand, but I'm just trying to see how you'll treat, I guess, visitors versus residents, if you have any comments.
Director, you want to take that, or Mr. Nakamoto?
Thank you. Thank you for the question. Basically, you're correct. We are looking at implementing this program in higher utilized beach parks. We are looking at having a priority for the, I guess, locals or residents that has a valid Hawaii driver's license to be able to park free. And really, it's just parking management. So if visitors are utilizing the bus service to get to the beach, they can still access the beach. Really, we're just implementing this program from a parking management standpoint and by giving priority to residents here. So like Neil mentioned earlier, on weekends and holidays, residents would be able to utilize a parking lot before 10 a.m. and after 10 a.m. they can still utilize the parking lot, but that would mean that after 10 a.m. is when non-residents would be able to actually pay for parking at that beach park. So I don't think the intent is for every single beach in South Maui to have the resident benefit parking rate. It might be where there's some parks along South Kihiro that could be open to all, and we don't have any restrictions at all. So I think it's right now we're kind of targeting certain ones, and then I'm sure as we collect more data, as we learn more on phase one, we'll be back. We have to come back for if we want to implement phase two, because we have to update the maps in code anyways. And so at that time, kind of like what Councilmember Johnson was asking, that we return to maybe provide an update on where we're at with lessons learned from phase one as we move towards phase two.
Okay, real quick, Chair. Today is just to establish these zones, and then we'll set the rates at budget. Yeah.
Director?
Thank you. Thank you for the question. Rates and fees are actually set. So this is basically establishing just the expansion into Kihei for South. Sorry, for Kamole 1, 2, and 3. I think because that's basically us updating the map so that it's going to allow us to work towards implementing the program, the pilot program, I guess, for Kamole 1, 2, and 3 this time, because rates and fees are already set for beach parks.
Okay, my apologies, Chair. You can take out the time for my second round.
No
Thank
problem.
you.
We're going to address that in the ASF also, as far as clarification of
Thank you,
et cetera. Okay, second round of questions. Member Sugimura, do you have additional questions?
So EL Theater parking was mentioned. So can you explain how that would be implemented? Because is there still a resident at the very top of what used to be the Lokahi Pacific building? I'm not sure. Okay.
Mr. Nakamoto?
Yes, EL Theater belongs to the county, and so what we've discussed with DPW as well as MPD is that we'd like to turn it into a 2-hour time-limited parking lot, which means that there would be 39 stalls now that would basically replicate what you see on Market Street. Market Street, when you drive there, it's always packed, right? And so now what we're trying to do is provide the same benefit of on-street parking in the lot. So now customers can park there for 2 hours, go do their business and get out, and create a higher turnover rate so that the businesses in that area can have more customers. So that's the goal. Because the law, I can't remember the reference, but the reference for time-limited parking, it was repealed, and now it's enforcement by signage. So in order for us to have enforcement in the parking lot, we need to have the 2-hour time-limited signs put up. And so there is a request with DPW to get that done. I'm waiting for them to respond to let me know what the time frame is on that. If they're unable to do it, because they're busy, right? So if they can't do it within, let's say, the next 3 months, then we have another option where we'll basically have to do another methodology to get it put up. But the goal is to basically have the signs there for 2 hours so that people can use it and be informed. And we do have 15 reserved stalls because we have property that we own, and that's part of their lease agreement.
So how are you going to do enforcement then? It's
Again,
just signage.
The parking ambassadors will be put in the area. They're currently there. But again, because we have no signs, they can't enforce it because there's no signage to inform the public.
So there'll be 15 stalls assigned to the county EL Theater and that Lokahi Pacific building?
Yes. And we're revamping the area so that the reserve parking will be on the extreme end, and then the rest will be for the 2-hour time-limited parking.
Oh, interesting. I think enforcement is always the biggest challenges that we have, and it'll be interesting to see how the parking ambassadors can administer that. I hope you do have a community meeting. There's a Wailuku Community Association. I understand they're having a meeting soon, so maybe you can tie into one of their future meetings when we're ready to launch this just for communication. And then, of course, we all have, we can help also if you need to by posting on our, our own networks of e-news, if that will help you too. So thank you.
Thank you, Member Johnson. Questions for second round?
Member Johnson, apologies, you're muted on your end.
Sorry, it's a lag. My screen is really laggy, so beg your pardon. I'm curious about the how this connects with our bus route system. Do you folks plan to have longer routes, longer time periods, more bus routes, those kinds of things, buffing up the bus system to make it more convenient so people will actually just say, I'm not even going to drive, I'm just going to take the bus to there? Is that something that you guys are going to kind of work currently on?
Director?
Thank you. Thank you for the question, Councilmember Johnson. It is something that has been discussed within our office. Neil is the person that manages the Park Maui side, so his counterpart within our department would be the one that we would have to continue having dialogues about it. I can't say that there would be any changes that would come on the pipeline immediately as we implement this, but there's always discussions of how we can improve our services. So maybe in future budget requests, we might ask for additional funds to consider route changes and whatnot.
I'm listening, Director. I'm listening intently. So basically, the idea that, it kind of seems like that would be a nice flow. If you want people, we charge them a rate so we can, that's the debate. It's like, I assume you want them to not drive to the beach if they don't have to, like what Councilmember Sensi said, you just walk across the street and there's the beach. But if we encourage them more by like, the bus drops you off right in front of the beach, it runs much more. There's a shaded, we incentivize until they actually start taking it and we change some behavior. But that's all my questions I have, Director, and I look forward to hearing more about that during budget. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Member Johnson. Member Kama, second round questions.
Yes, thank you, Chair. So my question is, when can you, people access the app, and how soon will you roll out the Park Maui program?
Member Nakamoto?
Thank you, Chair. So in answer to your question, we are hoping to launch in South Maui the Parking Ambassador Program and the paid parking permit zones early next year. The reason for that is that we still are in the process of permitting, and that takes a lot of time to get through that. And so once we can get that, we're also doing the beta testing on our app at the moment. And so we're hopeful that by early next year, this will be in, phase one will be working in South Maui.
And at that same time, we can get the app?
Yes, that's correct. The app will be released at the same time, and that we will get all the bugs out before we launch it, of course.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Member Koma. Chair Lee,
No questions.
thank you. Councilmember Paulton, second round.
No, thank you. I'm just monitoring the fire.
Okay.
Kanapali.
Member Sinensi?
Thank you. And I guess when I'm thinking about parking, I keep thinking about the old street where you put your quarters in, but this is now where modernized and now everything is either from your phone app that you can pay directly, or you can just punch in or scan, in this case, scan, and everything like that. I was thinking, with the rebuild of Lahaina, we're open to inviting more traffic to the east side. But again, we still deal with, because of our small roads and lack of parking in the rural communities, we still have parking issues as well, where tourists like to really congregate and oftentimes gridlock, block the traffic as well. So, I mean, I could think of 2 areas in East Maui that, if as a potential pilot program, maybe, although we don't want to encourage them to visit unsanctioned beaches or, places where there's no security for them. We do have, I'm sure, some places that we could put up one of the scanners and that kind of stuff to get some revenues to help, and hopefully to help mitigate, traffic in the future, or, pay for some of our sidewalks or something like that. Is that something you guys are open to as far as future pilots?
Chair. Thank you for the question, Councilmember Sinensi. I think anything is possible for us to consider. I'm not. Just thinking about our previous conversations with Department of Management, just because they're the ones that kind of got the program started and we're kind of moving it forward right now. I would be interested to know where overall were we considering. I'm not sure if East Maui came up as a discussion area, but I guess it's something that we could discuss further. So yeah, I mean, it would be good to know, I guess, in terms of where you believe that we should possibly consider if we are able to expand in East Maui.
Thank you, Director. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Before chairs ask any questions, does any members have a burning third round question? I see everybody shaking their head. So, Mr. Nakamoto, my question, I guess, I'm going to do some reflective listening. When we discussed this, my understanding was, as far as benefits to the community, one of the benefits is holidays and weekends, local residents will no longer go to the beach and not have a parking stall, because it's going to be pretty much reserved for them. It could be full of local residents, but currently, as a South Maui resident, I know that if I go to the beach and there's no parking, it's not uncommon. So you know, as a local resident in South Key, I think that's really a big benefit to the local community. Free parking all day also is like, there's no burden. The cost, I wanted to, like, as far as the cost, when you said variables, permitting issues, is that SMA, signs, and SHPD? Are there any other permitting issues to putting in the kiosk, putting up signs?
In answer to your question, Chair, we're finding out that in the permitting process, they're requiring certain documents to be stamped by an official engineer. And so in order to do that, we have to go out and hire someone to do that. So in order for the permitting process to be complete, we have to get those documents together. And that's an additional cost that we weren't planning on at all. There's another situation that we're working with. These kiosks are ADA compliant. And because some of them are situated in the flood zone, then there's another stipulation saying, well, if it's in the flood zone, then you have to put that thing 3 feet higher, which would make it irrelevant to have. And so we're trying to figure out, what do we do with all of these things that are coming at us? This is the first time that we're implementing it, and so this is brand new territory. And so we're learning as we go, because as we do expand, we're gonna have to do the same process all over again.
Well, I think it's the learning experience hopefully is twofold. It's also for the local government to recognize some of the rules and regulations, how they don't always fit, and how we could get creative to please to comply, but also to be practical and realistic. The idea that you have to get somebody to stamp something that they didn't design is kind of, this is not really supposed to what you're supposed to be doing. So it seems like if the county would have somebody qualified to review and stamp it for county function, but there's plenty of room for improvement. There we go. One of our testifiers, the question was concerned about technology and how, if you could clarify that again. I think you said you could use a smartphone or simply your driver's license.
Yes, Chair. So I think the person assumed that we only had the app, but we do have the kiosk. And maybe for seniors, when you go to a kiosk, that could be a little bit intimidating, but we're designing it so that it's very simplistic and very easy to use. And my hope is that we also have our ambassadors there, right? So they'll be able to assist if the person is flustered and doesn't know what to do. And so there's always grace in any situation like that.
Thank you for that explanation. I thought that the testifier had valid questions, and that seems to answer them. Then as far as the cost, Director, I'm going to drive sort of parallel with this. The bus ran at a negative cash flow for a period of time. Is that correct?
Thank you for the question. The bus still runs in the negative.
So, I mean, as far as for the public good, some things we do don't necessarily pencil out
That is
immediately.
Yes, that is correct.
So for my final question is, this is currently being done on Oahu, is that correct? Is it similar program or a different program?
It's correct. It's not Park Maui, but Oahu does have, within the city and county, they have a parking, I think they have a parking team, and they have parking lots. I think they're interested to see how we, if your question is referring to if they've rolled out paid parking at county beach parks, I don't think so. I think they're kind of watching us. I know the state is watching us because the state has rolled out paid parking. I believe paid parking is also at Big Beach. Wait, is Big Beach our beach? I think in McKenna, one of the beaches, I think is state. And so they do have paid parking.
Okay, so that answers my question. Basically, we're setting the pace on this. We don't really have anybody to mock up. Okay.
Yeah.
Members, any final questions for, Member Paulton, questions?
Yeah, not a question, but if if the folks wanna contact Race Randall guys, because they have rolled it out, I think, at Ironwoods or at West Maui's Oniloa, as well as Fleming's and other areas. I get calls or emails from tourists sometimes all upset, and I'm all like, oh, that's not county property, you know? So I guess Mr. Cook, you might want to get prepared because they're going to email or call you, but you're not going to be able to say that's not county property. But for the folks rolling this out, if they want to try and contact Maui Land and Pine about how it's going, you know, because I would say that we're not the first in Maui County. There is McKenna, and then there is West Maui on private property, but I think it's kind of similar because residents don't pay, but they still have to check in. I don't remember if I showed my license, but the one in Fleming's, you just have to like register one time, and then every time you go, it's like it knows who you are when you scan the QR or whatever.
Thank you. That's pretty
But it might be
intuitive.
cool to compare and contrast, yeah.
Thank you. I think I look at this as, I fully expect to get pushback from the tourists, but I look at this program as part of our visitor management. And so there'll be some friction, but this is the opportunity for local residents to get the benefit of being local residents. And especially, you know, the kids and the family being able to go to the beach early on the weekend or early on holidays and not have the stress of, you know, hey, we chance them because hope we get a parking spot. So anyway, that's enough of my monologue. Let's get on to, seeing no further discussion, we'll move on to decision making. Now the chair would like to entertain a motion to recommend passage of Bill 79, 2025 on first reading.
Second, so move. Thanks.
Okay.
Second.
So moved by Member Sugimura, seconded by Alice Lee, and third by Member Kama. To recommend the passage of Bill 79, 2025 on first reading. Members, any discussion before I move on to my First Amendment summary form?
Proceed.
Members, your chair would like to entertain a motion to substitute Bill 79, 2025 with the proposed CD1 version, incorporating the amendments referred in the ASF's description.
Okay, so move. Second.
So, second.
Okay. So moved by Chair Lee, seconded by Member Kama. Okay. Members, in this ASF, it amends the bill's title and purpose statement. It establishes new paid parking zones in South Maui at the beaches and parks and attaches maps depicting those zones. It repeals outdated paid and permit parking zone maps for Wailuku and adopts updated versions. Clarifies that the Director of Transportation is authorized to administer provisions in chapters 10.77 and 10.78. 5, it resolves any overlap between paid and permit parking zones and aligns language fiscal year 2026 budget amendment Appendix B, incorporates non-substantive and technical revisions for clarity, consistency, and style. Importantly, the CD1 also satisfies the legal requirement in subsection 10.77.010A, which mandates that paid parking zones be adopted by ordinance. Because of this, we have incorporated the exhibits, maps, originally attached to the resolution 25-130 directly into the CD1 version. Is there any discussion before I move on to my second ASF?
No discussion.
Seeing none, the chair will now entertain a motion to amend the proposed CD1 version of Bill 79, 2025, as stated in the ASF distributed during today's meeting, listed as attachment 12 on Granicus. I believe it may not have been distributed, but it's number 12 on Granicus.
We got it.
Is everybody okay with that?
Yes.
Okay, moving on. Can I receive?
Second.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay, first by
okay, I move.
Member Sugimura, seconded by
Member Kama.
Member Karma. To further amend the proposed CD1 version of Bill 79. Members, this amendment resolves a conflict between the flat rate under Section 10.77.020 and the parking pass fees set in the FY 2026 budget under Appendix B, Rates and Fees. In the county code, the flat rate be no more than $50 per parking session. However, in FY 2026's rates and fees, the standard monthly parking pass is $150, exceeding the maximum fee. This amendment would remove the conflict. For reference, you can view the parking pass rates and fees under the informational document listed as attachment number 10. Any discussions?
No.
Seeing no further discussion, all those in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Staff?
Chair, that's 7 ayes, 0 noes, with Member Roland Fernandez and Hodgins excused. You're back. The motion passes, and you're back to the motion to substitute as amended.
Okay. Okay, thank you, members. We're back to the motion to substitute as amended. Any further discussion? Seeing no further discussion, all in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
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 That's 7 ayes, 0 noes. Members Rollins, Fernandez, and Hodgins excused. Now you're back to the main motion as amended.
Thank you, members. Now we're back to the main motion as amended. Any further discussions? Seeing none? Seeing no further discussion, all in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
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 Chair, that's 7 ayes, 0 noes. Members Rollins, Fernandez, and Hodgins excused. The motion passes.
Yay.
Thank you, members. This item will move on for full council's consideration. Members, now that the maps have been incorporated into the CD1 version of Bill 79, Resolution 25-130 is no longer needed as a standalone item. Therefore, the chair would like to entertain a motion to file Resolution 25-130.
So move.
So moved by Member Sugimura,
Second.
seconded by Chair Lee. Is there any discussion?
Very
Okay,
clear.
seeing no further discussion, all in favor, raise your hand and say aye.
Aye.
Stop.
Chair, that's 7 ayes, 0 noes, with members Rollins, Fernandez, and Hodgins excused. The motion passes.
Thank you, members, and thank you for our resource personnel for your attendance this afternoon and your participation in clarifying the program. And members, this concludes today's Water and Infrastructure Committee meeting. Thanks, everyone, for being here for a great meeting. The time is now 2:38. This meeting is now adjourned.
Good job, Chair.